I want to get to the Olympics in a second because it was one of the more special moments that I saw in your career during the opening ceremony. I do want to spend a minute on the training aspect versus healthy, because I think when us dummies, pundits who talk about tennis, talk about it, it's like you're healthy, you're not healthy, but you also have to be healthy enough to train the way you want to be prepared. It's not as if, okay, you don't have pain here anymore, I'm ready to go. It's pain here anymore, but then I need to feel what it's like to get out of the corners, where you're not compromised. So it's not even healthy enough just to participate without pain. You have to be healthy enough to train. You're someone who no one ever questioned whether or not you were going to be prepared if you chose to take the court. So explain basically just your process and how do you have to feel in practice in order to feel like you can somehow find something on the match court?
Well, I was able to come back at very, very high level after injuries during most of the times in my career, because I was able to, first of all, I was not a guy, maybe because I had plenty of injuries, but I was not that guy that I come back and I have fear of hurt me again. I was not going out again. I was not thinking, okay, I need to take care here because if not, something negative can happen again. No, I was able to, okay, I come back from injury, things I feeling well now, so let's practice, let's prepare. So I just, in some way forget quick what happened. So I was able to go on court, practice with the intensity that I needed, and then I think I recovered quite fast the physical intensity, and the tennis level was not a big issue for me most of the times. Of course, as you know very well, sometimes you play.
I don't know about your level. No,
yeah.
I have no idea what it feels like to be at your level.
You know exactly the same. You know exactly the same than me. That sometimes you feel better, sometimes you feel worse. But that's part of the business, no. But I was able to recover well. Then it's about you have limitations or you don't have limitations. So that's it. After this last injury, the thing is I have limitations. Before I had important injuries, but when I came back, I had limitations maybe one day, but not all the time.
Yeah.
So you are able to live with that and to go on court, and you don't feel, okay, maybe I have limitation today, but most of the days I don't have that limitation. So you still believing that, okay, I can keep fighting for the most important things. When you have limitations all the time, then you start feeling, okay, how I beat this guy, how I beat this. This
you have to take
guy.
risks that you wouldn't normally take or make decisions you wouldn't normally make.
Exactly. And of course, a guy like me that I have been practicing all my career with very, very high intensity, that's the way that I understand the sport. That's the way that I enjoy the sport. So when I am not able to do that anymore, then for me, it's not anymore that interesting.
It was interesting watching from afar. And I remember vividly this one moment where you played in Rome. It didn't go the way you wanted to. And it felt like everyone, all they wanted to do, because there was the element of not knowing if we would see you at certain tournaments that you've won 10 times. Again, I felt like everyone wanted to celebrate you, and it almost felt like you didn't want to be celebrated because you weren't finished in your mind yet. I remember seeing Rome and you had lost, and seeing there was this amazing shot of the overhead view. It must have been a drone or something, where it's tens of thousands of people.
Yeah.
And you felt like they were there because they wanted that moment to say goodbye or to wait.
Exactly.
But it had to be a weird situation for you to have all these people that want to say goodbye to you,
but I didn't want it.
But you're not ready to say goodbye yet. But I will say, one of the things I'm amazingly happy you did, I was amazed. I hope you understand, and I'm sure you do, the significance of Olympics opening ceremony.
Yeah.
When you're walking the torch, you from Spain taking the torch from Zidane in Paris, that's not something that happens.
No,
that takes decades of respect. That was one of the coolest moments of my tennis fandom. And I was proud for our sport. I was obviously proud for you. I was happy, but also having that much history in that city to the point where they're going, you know what? you're Spanish, but you're also one of us. You're one of the most important figures in French sports history. How did that go down? When did you know? When did you get that phone call to participate? And what did you feel?
Well, I will never will have the chance to thank enough the organizers, the French people, and the Olympic team to give me that moment. Honestly, without being French, give me that moment, because it's not a moment of the ceremony. They give me that moment. We received the torch from Zidane in front of the Eiffel Tower. I mean, have been one of the most emotional moments in my tennis career, without a doubt. Olympics is something else, because it's not only it's not only tennis. It's the most important event of our world. That is a sport. So be part of it have been for me a recognition that meant a lot to me. And of course, in Paris, that the history that I had with that city is it's difficult to explain, honestly, because I really don't know how we arrived to that numbers that for me are difficult to imagine, but it happened. And for me, feel the love of the people and the support of the people in the most important place in my career is something that makes me feel very proud, very happy, and I am incredibly thankful to all of them.
It was well deserved. I remember I was watching, and everything's a surprise when you're watching the opening ceremony.
I didn't know, by the way. You asked me that before. I received a phone call from the team, from the president of the organization, the Olympic Committee in French, that tell me, we want you to be part of the ceremony. I say, okay, for me it will be an honor. But honestly, that day, normally I will go with the Spanish team on the boat, but I was not able to do it because...
Did you know, you knew exactly what you were going to do?
No, I didn't know.
Wait, they didn't tell you what you were going to do?
5 minutes before, 10 minutes before.
Stop it.
100%. I know I will be, because it was a super secret. I arrived there. Okay. So when honestly, the feeling is, I didn't know what's going to happen. So, because they wanted to be completely secret, like a surprise.
Wow.
So I was there in like a small area waiting, like half an hour before, because it was a mess to get there with all the people. It was raining, it was crazy. So then when it's time. So when we were walking there, so they start to explain me. So you're gonna be there. You're gonna pick up the torch from.
What did your heart sink? Like, or did,
I was nervous because I don't know what's going to be. But for me, when we see the image, I going up stairs, going to the stage to pick up the torch. So in that moment, I had like 2 minutes of waiting there. So when I realized the moment, I started to cry a little bit before.
Yeah.
And when I started to cry, I say, shut up, man. Stop it. It's not the moment to cry. It's the moment to enjoy. So I say, okay, boom. Try to not be too emotional. Just enjoy the moment. So I say, okay, let's go out. Let's do the thing. And let's have fun. It was amazing.
Well, I was emotional. You were crying 2 minutes before. I was crying 2 minutes afterwards. But I was so proud for you and for our sport to have that representation.
Thank you.
On that stage.